The Chicagoland real estate market is having a very interesting first half of 2023. On the one hand, you have the suburbs, which are extremely hot. Homes are selling quickly, they're selling for record prices, and there's very, very low inventory. And then you have the flip side, which is Chicago proper, where prices are actually declining and properties are very, very hard to sell. So in this video, we're gonna go over what caused the current state of the Chicago residential market, as well as what we can expect in the second half of 2023. Hi, my name is Peter. I'm a realtor here in the Chicagoland area. I service both the city and the suburbs. So if you're somebody that's looking to move here, or if you're somebody that's looking to sell your property here, feel free to reach out. My contact info is down below, and I'm sure my team and I can assist you. All right, let's jump into the video. In April of this year, the median home price in Chicago proper was $340,000. Now that's actually an 8% decrease from where it was this time last year. And while the decrease happened in nearly every single neighborhood in the city, it was most prevalent in some of the downtown neighborhoods, such as the Loop, River North, or Streeterville, which saw anywhere from a 5 to even 12% decline year over year. So the question then becomes, well, what caused the decline in prices? And while there's several different reasons, there are two factors that are the most prevalent. The first one being the crime. Look, it's no secret that Chicago definitely has a crime problem that needs solving, but the narrative has typically been that the crime was confined to particular neighborhoods. But as of the last few months and years, it's felt like some of that crime has spilled over into the more popular touristy areas. And as a result, you get a ton of media coverage of it. Some businesses leave, and if you're someone that lives in the city and you're seeing all this happening, you're seeing vacant storefronts, you're seeing people and neighbors move out of the city, chances are that your perception of the city is going to be impacted. And not only that, but so is the perception of people that live outside of Chicago. I speak to sellers in Chicago nearly every single week, and by far, without a doubt, crime is the number one reason that they tell me as to why they're moving. I actually even have some clients who are afraid to step foot inside the city, and they haven't been there in years because they believe that the second they do, they're going to get mugged or hurt. Now, is that overreacting? Yes, absolutely. The city's not that dangerous. But it all comes down to the perception. If people believe that the city is dangerous or more dangerous than it actually is, then they're not going to want to go there, and they're certainly not going to want to move there. And as a result, home values are definitely going to take a hit. The second reason for the price declines in Chicago is because of work from home. Chicago isn't the only city that's suffering from this, but it is among those that are most impacted. And I understand why, because if someone's paying a lot of money for small space in the downtown neighborhood, well, they're going to want to trade that for a lot more space for a lot less money if they don't have to commute to the office 5 days a week. Between April 2020 and July 2022, over 81,000 people left Chicago. And while not all of that is because of work from home, I'm willing to bet that a large chunk of it is. And if there's less people in the city, that means there's less demand for housing and housing prices fall. A lot of those people are moving outside of the state entirely, but a handful of them are actually moving out to the suburbs, which, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is experiencing a completely different market. Outside of a few towns that are adjacent to Chicago, nearly every single suburb in the greater metro area has seen price increases over the last year, such as Naperville, which saw a 7% increase in the average home value. And I could speak to this firsthand because when I've listed homes in the suburbs this year, nearly all of them have gone within a weekend with multiple offers, and with the final offer being above asking price with fantastic terms. And then I have buyers who I've been working with since January who have been actively submitting strong offers over the asking price, but have not yet found something 6 months into the year. The main reason why the suburbs are so competitive is because there's just not a lot of inventory here. A lot of sellers either refinanced or purchased their homes at really low interest rates, and they're not likely to let that go unless they absolutely need to move. So as a result, in the suburbs, the supply and demand have been completely out of whack. Okay, so we know prices in the city are declining, and in the suburbs, they're increasing. But what will the second half of 2023 look like? I can definitely see the suburban market cooling off slightly. Now this happens in a normal market every single year around this time in the second half of the year because school is out, summer is in, and a lot less people are out actively looking. But if interest rates continue to climb up and creep up as they have over the last few months, then some buyers might fall out of the marketplace and it might get a little easier to go in and buy something. Now with Chicago, it's a little bit of a different story. If more companies and businesses begin requiring their workers to come in for a full 5 or at least 4 days of work a week, I can definitely see the real estate market in Chicago making a slight comeback. However, if employees returning to the office continues to hover at right around 50% of pre-pandemic levels, then I could still see prices continuing to drop. Outside of employees returning back to the office, the other obvious thing that would help the city real estate market a lot is a very comprehensive short and long-term plan to curb the crime. Chicago just got a new mayor this year in 2023, and a lot of people are looking at him to see what his plans are to curb crime in the city. If he's successfully able to do that, or at least show signs that his plans are working, I can see the residential real estate market improving from there. But if things only get worse, I'm afraid prices will only continue to fall. So there you have it. That is the current state of the Chicagoland real estate market. If you're familiar with it and you want to chime in with some of your predictions, please let me know down in the comments what you think the second half of this year will look like. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.